She was promoted for asking great questions and left for the same reason. My name is Jafar and this is the HR Diary. Today's story is about Sophie and why sometimes the best people walk away. Have you ever worked with someone who, when you look back, makes you think, wow, that was amazing? I worked with someone like that. Let's call her Sophie. She was quick, witty, and held incredibly high standards. Working with her felt like catching a current. Everything moved faster. We worked together on a brutal project with tight deadlines and high stakes. She wasn't just excellent and quick. She made work lighter somehow. We laughed, argued, and pushed through as a team. After many hurdles, we crossed the finish line proud. So, when her promotion came, it surprised no one. She moved abroad to join another part of the business, and everyone knew she would keep her foot on the accelerator. When she moved, we kept in touch, but after a few weeks the contact faded. We fell back into the daily grind of our own roles, the usual normal stuff. Months later, I ran into a colleague who asked, "Have you heard about Sophie?" I said no, expecting to hear about some stellar achievement. Then he told me she quit. Naturally, I assumed she had been headhunted, probably tempted by a VP role at some tech unicorn about to go public. But no, she had simply quit, overnight, without another job lined up. Eventually, I got a hold of Sophie, and here's the full story. In her first meeting with the general manager, after the usual sanitized corporate pleasantries, she explained her approach to onboarding. She said that she has a habit of asking a lot of questions and that she wants to embark on an exploratory journey. She asked him to help her calibrate her observations and accelerate her learning. They shook on it. I had always thought Sophie could have been an award-winning journalist or a podcaster these days, because she had a way of connecting with people. Some can call it charisma. I think it was more of an empathy. She didn't shy away from questions. One led to another, then to tougher ones, piercing through the fluff. She asked about the day-to-day operations, strategic choices, and long-term vision. Each time, she offered her perspective respectfully. A real example of diversity of thought in action, because after all, you don't want your team members running tiny calculations in their head, should I say it or should I not? Her insights, even without full context, onboarding, often sparked new ideas. And while her observations, to a point, were welcomed by the leadership team, the GM was more skeptical. In the beginning, he was polite, articulate, and evasive. Their conversations became kind of a verbal fencing. We're all fluent in corporate English, but not everyone can achieve the linguistic prowess of an intelligent Brit. She said that conversation sometimes felt like a battle between a knight in a steel armor trying to swing at a cat like ninja. So she kept swinging, ninja kept deflecting, but every question revealed another poor business decision. Eventually, she uncovered, or she simply understood, that many of them traced back to the GM himself. And that's when things turned ugly. Because you see, even mediocrity, when threatened, transforms, and not in a good way. Her questions undermined GM's authority. He retaliated and started undermining her capabilities. Back-channeling, politics, gossips. Corridors chatter started with "she's too quick to judge without knowing the context." The magical context, the ultimate justification for every poor decision. It ended with "she is incapable and doesn't know her craft." People like Sophie are driven by purpose and creation. So she quit. Top performers expose poor leaders, and that's the reason they leave. Not the workload, not the money, just the fatigue of pretending not to see. Thank you for tuning in. Stay curious. HR out.